Hello, my name is Yuanzhuo. I'm a PhD candidate at the Guangdong University of Foreign Studies of China. The paper I will be presenting today is titled Compression of Judgment Document Information Between China and Russia based on Corpus. I'll discuss it from four aspects. First is introduction and collection and data compression and analyze, and then give a conclusion. First of all, since the beginning of the 20th century, China has stepped on the path of modernizing its legal system by learning from the West. Due to the national system and various historical reasons, the Soviet laws has a great impact on our country. In the era of global economic integration, transnational trade is increasingly particularly, which causes the dramatic rise in foreign-related economic legal disputes. Taking Fujian province in China as an example, the number of foreign-related cases increased by 15% year-on-year on 2022. And the most foreign-related maritime affair disputes also exceed more than 50%. The situation of development urgently requires a group of legal practitioners who not only have expertise in our laws, but also have bilingual or multilingual skills and even erudition of the legal system of two or more countries. A systematic and specialized contrastive study of the laws and the two countries can provide them with a solid foundation of academic theory. And Chinese scholars' linguistic studies of judgment documents have explored more about the realization of the trial process on the objectives of the case. For example, Guo Fei and Wang Zhenhua established an analytical framework for the embodiment of social processes in legal discourse, thereby combining one steps of social process and from a sociological perspective and by analyzing lawyers' representations and trial discourse. They found that lawyers' representations include more negative approach by adjusting competition and conflict, reducing polar oppositions, and promoting conformity. Assimilation and cooperation, they are accessible to achieve the ultimate ends of justice. Foreign scholars have studied more extensively in the information conveyed by language of judgment documents. They could use a corpus to analyze the impact of judges' subjective attitudes on female victims in domestic violence cases, with discourses indicating that ending a violent relationship was the preferred route for female victims of domestic violence to exercise their power of agency. However, there is no information comparative study on judgment documents, so I think it is possible to carry out a corp-based comparative study on Chinese and Russian judgment documents. The main content of the study is the comparative analysis of structure and types of information in Chinese and Russian judgment documents, based on which the corpus of information on judicial discourse inquired for the study has been designed and set up with the aim of providing a corpus and uniform classification specifically for this study. The corpus involved in the study is judicial written discourse produced in the course of judicial proceedings, which includes judgment and rulings documents. This table categorizes and labels the corpus according to the legal discourse information theory. The legal discourse information theory combines Laswell's 5W mass communication model, Labov's information categorization model, and Breuer's discourse tree model. It forms a basic framework for the analysis of the information structure by dealing with information in an interrogative word mode and combines the concept of hierarchical systems in the discourse tree model and the specific methods of information categorization in the information mode. An information point is the most essential element of discourse information structure, which plays a key role in the establishment of information structure. It clarifies the relationship between two information units through the identification of information points. There are 15 types of information points in total. Labeling of information points enables the information of a microstructure of the justification document, which is a framing statement of the whole discourse. And the macrostructure is the interpretation and the deconstruction of the microstructure of the discourse. The propositions at the macro level can be understood as information components, which form a chain of information and connect with each other to form an information tree. According to the legal discourse information, structured information components are mainly divided into three categories: process, individual, and environment, as shown in the table. After that, we made several compressions and analyzed. It presents the key data in the discourse of each document to form a comprehensive data quantification table containing the total number of information points, the total number of words or phrases in the discourse, and the total number of information components. In the selected corpus data, there is an overall positive correlation between the total number of words or phrases of the discourse and the total number of information points. Although there are some particularities that not all words and information points of each discourse are equal proportions, but the overall trend is consistent as shown. And in the selected corpus, the number of information points shows an absolute positive correlation with the number of information components, and it is particularly obvious in the Chinese judgment documents. A higher number of information points in a discourse implies more information in the more macro structure. Therefore, more information components are necessary to generate more information points. And overall, the total word count of Chinese civil judgment documents is higher than that of Russian civil judgment documents. And the word number of Russian ruling judgment documents is much larger than that of Chinese ruling judgment documents. Additionally, the word count of criminal judgment documents between China and Russia is comparable. This is caused by the fact that Russian judgment documents usually contain direct quotations from the original text of the legal provisions in factual findings and legal support. Well, it is included approximately 10 articles in a case, each of which has a small number of words, but is more static in and trivial in the perspective of information points. Moreover, Russian criminal judgment documents usually contain multiple repeated information points, such as when, where, and thus. Thus, the information content of criminal judgment documents is larger than that of Chinese ruling documents because some physical issues, such as the parties' claims in the lawsuit, and included in Russian ruling documents, which generate more information points of discourse of ruling documents. From a macroscopic aspect, Russian criminal judgment documents have the highest rate of information content, which is influenced by the ratio of information points in Russian criminal judgment documents due to the positive correlation demonstrated by information points and information contents. On the contrary, the information content ratio of various documents in China is relatively low. Obviously, redundant information is avoided as much as possible in China's judicial documents, and fewer information components are provided at larger lengths, with a small order of magnitude of information. So here comes a conclusion. The Comparison shows that the total value of information points in civil ruling documents is the highest, while that in criminal judgment documents is the lowest. The total information content of criminal judgment documents is the highest, while that of civil rulings is the lowest. The civil judgment is relatively balanced in terms of information points and information components. It can be found that microstructure of civil ruling documents is clearer, but doesn't provide more macro information. By adding language elements, it can be seen that there are more information points and information components in Russian criminal judgment documents. Russian criminal judgment documents are not only more clearly delineated in the microstructure with the possibility of more long sentences or compound propositions, but also present more macro information through information points. This study only deconstructed the judgment documents of China and Russia at the data level. The specific characteristics of various judgment documents and differences in the legal system between the two countries reflected in them can be demonstrated by data. However, detailed comparative analysis and in-depth analysis of reasons will be carried out in the subsequent research. Thanks. That's all.